Hey guys, your boy B1, and guys, I figured a lot of you cats just got FIFA for Christmas, or if you're a grizzled veteran just looking to refresh your game, these are my top 10 tips to help you dominate FIFA 17 career mode, in no particular order. Now, I humbly ask before we get started that if you are new to the channel that you smush your hard nipple into that subscribe button right now for all the best FIFA career mode tips. As you find this video helpful, hit that like button. Alright, let's go. Number 1. Alright, let's start off with our first tip, and let's go ahead and keep it simple. And that is, if you want to go ahead and transfer in a player, never ever inquire about that player. I see this mistake made all the time on even career mode players that I like on YouTube's. You're just wasting money. If you inquire about a player, the team will always overinflate their price by at least 25 to 30%. Instead, be patient. Go ahead, find that player, add that player to your shortlist, and send a scout out to go ahead and, scout them. In a couple of weeks, they'll come back with a scouting report that will give you the actual value or more accurate value of that player. So you can go ahead and make a fair offer. This tip alone will save you millions. Or if you're impatient, just go to SoFifa.com and look up their value, which leads me to tip number 2. SoFifa.com. Alright, there are IRL sites like SoFifa and UltraFifa.com that contain the entire career mode player database. Yes, all their stats, all their potentials, weak foot, skill moves, it's all here. They even update it weekly to show you which players EA have upgraded, downgraded, taken away from the game, added into the game. Yeah, it's pretty much a Wikipedia of FIFA career mode goodness. And it's an incredible scouting resource, but a warning to the wise. Some people find it more fun to play the game without it. As part of the fun for them is discover gems by yourself, and the danger in using sites like SoFifa is you just end up using the same best young players with high potentials over and over again. So, to each their own. But for me, I'm going to move on to tip number 3, which is buy young high potential players. A lot of people already do this, but this year it's more important than ever because of the way EA has changed how rapidly players can grow and deteriorate in career mode. Now, young high potential players can often grow and reach insane stats like 99 stats in things like pace, finishing, short passing, while older players above the age of 29 could rapidly lose up to -15 in a stat in a single year. This is really puzzling because EA made a concerted effort last year to preserve older players, only to throw it out this year. So, I don't know. But if I have a tip to you, instead of buying Ronaldo, go spend your money on the next Ronaldo. Alright, tip number 4. Don't forget about regens. Legends never die in FIFA. They're just reborn. Literally. Players after they retire are actually regenerated back into the player pool under a new name and a new face. So when you see the likes of Pirlo retire, be on the lookout next season for his reincarnation. To spot players like him, you want to go ahead and remember their position, their nationality, and the league that they were last playing before they retired. Next season goes ahead, rolls around, you go ahead and plug in those parameters. Remember, position, nationality, and the league that they retired in, and also add in the player age range of 16 to 20 because they're going to be regenerated as youngsters. And if you go ahead and plug those stuff in the MLS, you will see that a young, spry Italian center mid pops up, and that will be the regen of Mr. Andrea Pirlo. I have a video that goes a little bit more into depth, explaining this. It's a little bit complex that I'll leave at the end of this video. Let's go ahead and move on to tip number 5, loan-out/potential glitch. Some people regard this as an exploit, but if you think Tom Davies deserves more of a 90 potential as opposed to his current 86 potential, this trick can actually help you raise it there. Now, what you're going to do is you have to take a young player. It only works really well on players under the age of 23. You go ahead and put them on the loan list. Now, once he goes out on loan, you want to go ahead and save your game. This is vital. Now, once you've done that, you go ahead and you recall that player, and you need to check 2 things. 1, is his value higher than when he left? Or 2, is his potential status higher than when he left? Now, when I say potential status, I mean the words will say showing great potential, exciting prospect, or potential to be special. Now, if either one of these things has increased, then the man's potential or highest rating that he can possibly get has also increased. Now, here's a warning. This can also go in reverse. You can actually lower his potential, or his potential can actually just stay the same. It's kind of up to RNG, so it's going to take a number of resets for you guys to get the results that you want. You can also do this trick multiple times to the same player, so you can go ahead and take your scrub bench warmer to Wonderkin in no time. And once again, I have a video that kind of goes more into depth. This one's a little bit complex, but that'll be at the end of the video. Anyway, moving on to number 6. Double your transfer money. Now, the money system is kind of been broken in career mode for years, because no matter how much, or how little you have at the end of the season, the CPU will always reset it to a predefined amount at the start of your new season. This is fine if you're penniless and you just absolutely spent everything, but if you've been saving up for 2 seasons to buy Messi, and then you end that season with 100 million in surplus, the game board can actually go ahead and think, I don't think they really need that much, and only give you 60 million for transfers the next season. Obviously, you'd be a little bit frustrated. I would too. Well, this trick is going to go ahead and help you prevent that. In fact, it's going to help you double your transfer kit, and this is how you do it. To prevent this, we're actually going to be using unwanted players as money mules. Now, what you do is, first, you go into your transfer kit, you move all of that money over to player wages, except you leave a little bit of sliver left just to sign a couple of players. Now, then you go to offer players you don't want, or you were willing to go ahead and transfer out the next season, to contracts of 300k or less a week. The reason why it's only 300k is if you do any higher than that, usually it'll process incorrectly. So, if you run out of players on your team to sign, you can also sign as many free agents as you need to these contracts as possible. Then, once you've muled up, you sim to the next season. The board will reset your funds with a fresh transfer kit, so you get the maximum amount of money that you were going to get in the first place. And then, what you do now is you need to get these mule contracts off of the books by transferring them out. Here's another issue you're going to run into. No one will actually buy these players off you straight up because the contracts are too expensive. So what you need is to go ahead and include them in offers when buying players. Be it players that you actually want, or if you're just buying scrubs, you just want to get them off of your books. You want to sweeten the pot, just get them off of your books, because the return you're going to get on them is going to be astronomical. So just include and get rid. If you run out of players that you actually want to buy, I suggest you actually go over to the A-League and buy a bunch of scrubs. Once you've brought those guys in, gotten your mule contracts off of your books, you can just go ahead and release all of those players. Now, once you've gotten all these contracts off of your books, check on your player wages, move it over to your transfer kit, and you'll have more money than Manchester City in no time. Tip number 7, take advantage of free transfers. How does free money sound to you? Good? Well, here's how you can get some in FIFA career mode. Now, you've probably heard of free transfers, like Zlatan to Manchester United, for example. You can make those same type of transfers in career mode. Now, you can only do them in the winter window. Now, what you got to look for is expensive players with expiring contracts. And this is actually a great way that you can capture some of the best players on the cheap, like Ronaldo or Messi, when their contracts run out. But even if you don't like those players, even if you don't want those players on your team, you still want to sign them in winter, because you can go ahead, turn around once you get them in the next season, you can sell them for 100% profit. Yes, you just got to go ahead, afford their wage demands, and once you go ahead and bring them in and sell them, you'll be refunded all of those wages anyway, so you basically just get free money. Alright, number 8 is crucial. This is how to prevent players from forcing transfers off of your team. Now, this one is truly puzzling, because one of the few things that EA added this year, and there are only a few new things that they added to career mode this year, is now one of your star players can force their way off of your team, and there's almost next to nothing that you can do about it. Now, while this is realistic, this isn't exactly fun for you, especially because it usually comes out of nowhere, and your board, your idiotic board, sells them for pennies on the dollar. I do not know why EA actually put this into career mode this year, but luckily we have found a workaround to this. Now, a warning, this doesn't always work. But if you see the signs of your player getting homesick, he'll be saying that, he'll no longer negotiate with us. What you need to do immediately is place him on the loan out list. If an offer comes in time, you loan him out immediately, and then you recall him. When he returns, he will magically have forgotten that he ever wanted to leave the club. I know, it's ridiculous, but it works. Coming in at number 9 is a little bit of a gameplay tip or purchasing tip, and that is buy midfielders who are physically strong. This year's FIFA gameplay is predicated a lot more on physicality. The CPU is going to be closing you down. It's going to be trying to bully you off of that ball all the time. And if you don't have someone with at least, I'd say, 65 to 70 strength, you're going to be losing the ball in the midfield quite often, and it's going to get really frustrating. Conversely, you're going to need strong, fast midfielders to go ahead and win the ball back for you. People like Conte or, in the mold of a Pogba. Those guys are going to be the ones winning the midfield battles and really helping you. So if you're finding yourself frustrated in your build-up play, go ahead and look to buy or raise up young, fast, strong midfielders. Trust me, just go ahead, get them. You'll thank me later. And my final tip is don't forget about player instructions and formations. As you find yourself struggling to break down defenses, go ahead and tinker a little bit, Don't sleep on the player tactics tab, man. CDM always too far up the pitch, hit him on that stay back while attacking. Rashford not making the runs that you want, put him on get in behind to maximize his speed. Need support on the wings during attacks, have the fullbacks always overlap. These are tools to help you customize your team to fit your playstyle. You can also custom edit your formations as well as your overall team tactics. So experiment around until you can find a playstyle that suits you. And those are my top 10 tips for FIFA 17 career mode in no particular order. If you found this helpful, please go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, man, for more helpful FIFA tips. I got a playlist of videos where I go balls deep explaining a lot of these concepts that I discussed in this video. Go ahead and click on that over here. Ding. And if you want to see these tips in action, go ahead and check out my Ajax career mode. That's right here. Ding. My name is B-Minus. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Remember, stay yourself, stay humble, and be weird.